On a much more positive note, let's look at Matthew chapter 5. Speaking of Jesus, verse 1, and seeing the multitudes, Jesus went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And from there, Jesus made a proclamation. From there, Jesus made an announcement. From a mountain, Jesus set things straight with man again. Just as when God spoke to Moses at the mountain and reviewed the commandments with him, brought them back to mind again, because those were commandments that had obviously been in place from the beginning. When Cain killed Abel, it was wrong. So when God told Moses, thou shalt not kill, he was bringing it back into remembrance for Moses. So now Jesus is on the mount, and this is often remembered as the Sermon on the Mount. Look at it very carefully with me, and tell me how this is different from the Ten Commandments. Or is it different from the Ten Commandments? And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before thee. And he goes on to say that you are the salt of the earth, and you are the light of the world. A city that is set on the hill cannot be hid. And to shine your light. And then he says in verse 17, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. Till heaven and earth pass. Now, did heaven and earth pass at Jesus' crucifixion? So he said, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. And then he says, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Now Jesus amplifies the law from the mount. And he says, except your righteousness exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees, of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. So he's not charging us with a greater righteousness than even the scribes and Pharisees. And he says, you've heard thou shalt not kill. He says, don't even get angry and hold that anger. Don't remain angry with your brother or your sister. But if you are angry, to go and make things right between you. Is that not amplifying thou shalt not kill to an even higher level? And he says, don't even bring a gift to the altar until you've made yourself right with whomever you have your problem with. And don't even let the sun go down This is something I need to work on. My wife will tell you that I can stay angry into the next day. And I should not let the sun go down on my anger. If my wife has something against me, she should deal with it before the next day. Or, in fact, if I have something, I should deal with it. And sometimes I let it go and I let it carry on. And that's not good. That's not healthy. It's not good for me. It's not good for my wife. It's not good for the children. So, Jesus is on the mount and he's now amplifying and raising the law to a spiritual level. It's not just the action of murder. It is the action eternally, the spiritual thought of anger. That is where problems start. And he goes on and he lists other things. He lists not only adultery, but even that desire that a man can commit adultery right in his own heart. And then he talks about the only condition for divorce, and talks about making oaths, retaliation, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, and then he says, but go ahead and turn the other cheek. So I love this because I've always thought that the Sermon on the Mount was delivered as was God's commandments on the Mount. Jesus bringing all these things to us as a proclamation or an announcement from on high, after the same pattern as his Father. Why would God use this pattern of the mountain? Why would Jesus follow the same pattern? And why would Satan try to counterfeit the same thing? Because God's plan is all done according to a pattern. God has already planned Mount Zion, a place in the future for us all. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2 tells us that the Lord's house, that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above hills, and that all nations shall flow unto it. And that out of Zion, Mount Zion, shall go forth the law. Isaiah 4 and verse 5 says that every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud of smoke by day and a shining of a flaming fire by night, for upon all the glory shall be a defense. Doesn't that sound just like the mountain that Moses and Israel came upon, with the smoke over it and the burning fire, the brightness of God? It is a pattern for a future place that from below will look the same. We'll get a different vision of it, because we'll get to see it from that level, burning sea of glass, clear as crystal. And we're told in Isaiah 11:9 that they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. And finally, Satan, who has had charge over the kingdoms all these years, who is depicted in that very image of Daniel chapter 2. We know that image with his feet on the ground, 10 toes, that a stone cut without hands from a great mountain will be thrown at the ankle of that image and will break that image down. And then that stone will go on to consume the whole earth and will become itself a great mountain. I've always been intrigued by the mountain and the correlation throughout the Old and New Testament. And I just thought today I'd take the opportunity to show you how it all ties together like a string through the Bible. I hope you find that interesting. May God bless you.